Hi, everybody. Welcome to Late Night for the Planet. That's right. Cheer wildly. My name's Kurt. I'm a professor at SUNY Plattsburgh in our Center for Earth and Environmental Science. And when we started Late Night for the Planet in 2018, it was 18, we had our big technology was an iPhone on a tripod that started right there. So to see you all here tonight, we also, every night that we did this, we're like crossing our fingers that someone would show up. And we never knew how many people or who would come. So to see you all here tonight and to see all of our SUNY Plattsburgh TV production studio, a whole bunch of other regional TV studios here is, you know, like really makes me, yeah. This really is a student-run show. I really don't do a lot. And so I want to give a huge shout out to our Late Night for the Planet team. Taylor Town is here somewhere. Oh, they're all standing over here. Taylor Town and Rachel Lamar and Maddie Lehman, Kaylee Doyle, Tegan Jump, McKenna Kalita, and Sasha Baker. You got a huge round of applause. The amount of work that goes in to getting a group of students who are environmental science, environmental studies, and education majors to host a huge event, which, like, if they were production, you know, TV and video production students or, you know, media students, this is like their everyday thing. This is a little bit out of our comfort zone, and I just want to acknowledge how cool that is and how important it is for our community to see them doing things like getting our candidates for mayor here to talk about their platforms and the things that are important to them and to let you all ask questions. So big shout out to the whole team that put this together. I know. You know. So if you are not aware, there is an election coming up. It's been in the news like a little bit. Not only do we have a presidential election, which I know you all are following, but we have an election here for mayor in the city of Plattsburgh, where we live. All politics are local. All politics are local. And this is our community. We felt it was really important to host a forum where our candidates for mayor could come and each talk about the things that are important to them, answer some questions from the audience, and have fun. Late Night for the Planet is about the list of things it's about gets longer and longer every time I think about it, but it's about building community, raising awareness, and having fun while we do it. And I want to give a big shout out to both of our candidates, to Wendell Hughes and Don Kasperzak, for being willing to come and have fun with us tonight. And that's a sign. Sasha and McKenna are going to interview both candidates. They're going to play some fun audience participation games. That's for you all. You get all to be involved. It's going to be fun. And then there's going to be some time with each candidate to do some Q&A. And I just want to reiterate that this is a student production. And while our race for mayor in the city is important and serious, I just want to make sure that we keep that discussion, that Q&A, fun and light. And please keep in mind that I have students that are managing this conversation. Cool? Cool. With that, that's the end of me talking. Let me turn it over to Sasha and McKenna, our hosts for the night. Here you are. Thank you all so much for coming.
All right, Kurt. Thank you so much, Kurt, for that amazing introduction. So hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Late Night for the Planet show of this semester. I'm your host, McKenna Kalita.
And I'm Sasha Baker.
and we're super excited for you guys to be here tonight. So before we start, we want to give another really great warm welcome to Marcus. Thank you so much for playing, Marcus. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Marcus. So tonight we'll be inviting the mayor candidates to come and speak to us about their plans for Plattsburgh, and also so they can hear from you as well.
So our first guest for tonight is going to be Mr. Wendell Hughes. So Wendell Hughes has lived in Plattsburgh his entire life. He lives on Allen Street with his wife Pam and 2 rescue dogs, Asher and Marty. Mr. Hughes worked 32 years for the New York State Department of Corrections. He was elected to proudly serve the Clinton County Legislature in 2020. He represents Area 8. Mr. Hughes is currently the president of the Noon Kiwanis Club, airport coordinator for the North Country Honor Flight, and a volunteer for many other area organizations, including the Clinton County Historical Association, Tour de Force, DVA, and others. So without further ado, please join us in welcoming Wendell Hughes to the stage.
Start it out. Stop.
Hands. Right, Jeff. All right, so thank you again, Wendell, so much for being here today. So as Curtis mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be mayor and a candidate for mayor, and then tie it into some more personal questions about SUNY Plattsburgh and the future. So our first question is, why do you want to run for mayor?
I've asked back that self that. Where does it? You did. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. We'll get that out of the way fast. So we already messed up once. No, I'm fine. Do you want me to hold it? So I've asked myself that a million times. Why do I want to run for mayor in the city of Plattsburgh? Well, I've lived here my whole life. I love this city. We have a great city. I would love to be a portion of taking it, trying to make it better in the next 4 years. Better? Perfect. All right. Now that I've done the microphone thing, we can move on. But no, I just love the city of Plattsburgh. I think we have so many possibilities. Sitting on the Clinton County Legislature has opened my eyes to a lot of other things, and I think I'm very qualified to run the city the next 4 years.
Awesome. Okay, so if you were to become mayor, what would your top 3 goals be?
Top 3 goals. I mean, right now we have public safety. We're looking for a new chief. I think that's imperative. We need the right person. We have a really good young police department, and public safety is a huge issue. I've been fortunate enough to walk around the city since February, talking to folks, and public safety is a big issue. I think I'm very qualified to pick that next person, and I would love to have the opportunity to pick that person. Infrastructure is always huge. Reinventing a rec program in the city is imperative. We have to invest more money into our rec program. We have some issues with the budget. We have some long-term debt. I don't know how much money we can spend on rec, but we really have to reinvest in our community as well, as the youth all the way to seniors. And a lot of folks look at just the youth, but it's not just the youth. And then seniors, the town has some really nice kayak paddles that the seniors go on, and I think that's awesome. And some of the hikes, and then not every kid can kick a soccer ball, but they can paint a picture that I can't. So arts, I think, have to be incorporated into that too. So moving forward, that's where my focus would be.
Thank you for your perspective on that. So what do you think are the most important skills for being mayor, and in what ways do you exhibit these skills?
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. What do you think are the most important skills for being a successful mayor?
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to have an open mind, and you have to understand, I live by 3 C's: communication, collaboration, compromise. I may not be always right in the room, but we come to a compromise, and sometimes those compromises are the best decisions we can come to. Instead of a 50-50 split, we may get 60 or 70% of the population that agrees with our decision, but we have to have that communication, and we have to collaborate.
Thank you. Those are some great points. What challenges do you anticipate you will face as mayor?
I look forward to the challenges because there's nothing easy in life. I overexceeded my own expectations years ago. And if somebody had told me I'd be sitting on the stage with you 2 young ladies, 10 years ago, I would have laughed. I said, there's no possible way. Here I am. So, I mean, it just means a lot to me to be here. I have two of my niece, my nephew from South Carolina, and it's just awesome. I mean, it's incredible to be in a position to run for the mayor of the city of Plattsburgh.
Sheila, absolutely amazing. So we wanted to ask about a little bit about your political background and experiences that make you qualified to be mayor.
Well, I mean, on the legislature, I've been chairing the health committee since 2021. As part of that is mental health and addiction, which is a huge issue. I mean, the opioid problem we have, and it's not a city problem. I mean, it's a nationwide problem. So I'm very fluent with today's issues. Today's issues are what we need to deal with today. I've got the connections in the mental health world, in the addiction world. I think we just have some great mental health and addiction professionals. There's opioid money out there. We just have to make sure that money gets to the street where we need it. And there's just so many different aspects to the legislature that I sit on the NISEC public safety, the statewide, it's New York State Association of Counties, the statewide public safety committee, which is really cool because I get to hear every other county's issues on that committee. And it's just really good to be able to share those ideas. I also, my area is a very diverse area. I represent not only a large portion of the city, I have a large portion of the town. That enables me to have a great working relationship with the town and the city. Michael Cashman and I've been working with Michael now for 5 years. I mean, our assemblyman, Billy Jones, we have a great working relationship. So a lot of the connections I've made are going to be very important going forward.
Awesome to hear. What are your plans to make Plattsburgh more sustainable?
That's a great question because why am I still in Plattsburgh? I love it here. We have the lake is gorgeous, but we have a beautiful river that runs through our city. We put some great trails through there, and we have to give opportunities for housing. We have to have opportunities for jobs. We have to give opportunities. If we want you guys to stay here after graduation, you have to have affordable housing or good housing, or you have to have a job opportunity. And that's what we need. Going forward, we need to expand our tax base and bring, we don't have a lot of land left in the city of Plattsburgh to develop. So whatever we come up with, the new pro-housing designation we just received opens a lot of doors. I mean, there's a lot of grants and a lot of opportunities out there, but we have to make sure we utilize each piece of property in the city of Plattsburgh to the fullest.
That's a great answer. Our next question was about how can we keep SUNY Plattsburgh students here in the area post-grad? Talked a little bit about providing opportunity. Could you extend or interpret any more?
Opportunities, if you don't have the great experience here at Plattsburgh, you're not going to want to stay here. I mean, coming to events like this and you see how the community comes together in Plattsburgh. You go see last weekend at the Honor Flag we had, I mean, there was well over 1,000 people. This community is amazing. And those are things that just add to it. But you have to have those major opportunities. You have to have housing. You have to have a job that you can stay at in order for you to stay. And then if we have this community, which we have a great community here, they rally behind, I mean, it's such a resilient area. And that's why I love it here. And hopefully you get to experience some of that while you're here. And then you may come back or may stay.
Perfect. Thank you.
You spoke a lot about community. Speaking of that, what are some ways the Plattsburgh community can build relationships with the college while also dealing with the consequences of a big student population?
Well, going back to the police chief, I think is a huge decision. And then Pat Rasco, I went to kindergarten with Pat. Pat is is your police chief on campus. And I think we have to find that person that can work well with Pat. And then together we can form stakeholder meetings where students and residents have to hear each other's issues. Some people in Center City don't want their lawns torn up on the weekends. And, if we come up with programs where these kids are maybe fixing those yards on the weekend, I think that would be a great start.
Meet in the middle. Perfect. Yeah. So before we turn over to start our game, we just wanted to end with our last question. If there is an issue or topic that you would like to talk about tonight.
There's just so many issues. It's been so good walking. This is a long season. I mean, this starts in February. getting signatures, and then it goes to, I had a primary, and here we are. We're still almost a month out of the general election. Just been incredible, and thank you to all the residents of the city. Whether you're for me or against me, I've got some great ideas, and thank you, everybody. I enjoy it. I'm going to be walking until Election Day, and my phone number is really available on the county website if you don't know where else to find it. And if you have a question for me, please call me. If you want to have a coffee, I love a coffee and a conversation. And I can't govern if I don't know what you want.
Love to do it. Eddie, that's the chick.
Okay, so for our first game, we're going to be playing real or fake news. So on everybody's tents, you have a QR code that you can scan. And when you scan the QR code, it's going to have you hold up a red or a green screen. We're going to show some news articles. And if you think it's a real headline, you're going to hold up a green screen. And if you think it's a fake headline, you're going to hold up a red. This is how you're going to vote, and Wendell's going to help us decide if the majority of y'all think it's real or fake, and then we'll reveal the answers.
Like, so it's to the back, and you're the needle. You're the cream.
Read.
Help me out with that. All right.
I was sure it is that. I really tired us.
What do you think? Yeah, I know.
Oh, flip, it might be the other one. There's 2 QR codes.
Get that kind of on that thing.
Yep.
And I get on that thing, they were using it.
So we'll do our first practice. If you guys have your QR code, please hold up a green screen. Let's see our green screen.
Oh, beautiful.
Technology is beautiful when it works, isn't it?
Oh, I
Okay,
thought it
now
was
everybody hold up a...
Oh, so we can see them all lit up. All right.
Can everybody now hold up a red screen?
Red. We're trying for red screen.
Beautiful. Okay. Is everybody ready for our first headline?
See it.
I was there just out there.
All right, our first headline. Is it real or fake? SUNY Plattsburgh student hospitalized after drinking tap water. A first-year student fell ill after drinking from a bathroom sink in Whiteface Hall during a severe hangover. Yeah, that's a severe hangover, bathroom sink. All right, let's hold up. True, green, or red, false.
What do you think, Wendell?
Pretty close to 50-50. I mean, we get a lot of green, a lot of red. So we're pretty close in the middle.
You think in the middle? Okay.
Kind of like politics today.
Oh, that is not true. Okay, who's ready for our next headline? Okay, Westport man driving a lawnmower charged with felony DWI. Police were called to River Street in Elizabethtown on September 12th following the report of a man.
I know that guy.
A man driving a lawnmower against
And yelling at bystanders. True or false?
That's definitely a true one, Big.
All right, are you ready for our next headline? Blueberries' vast potential goes untapped. Blueberry picking was once a booming business on the Altona Flat Rock from the late 1800s through 1957. True or false? Sorry to anybody who does not like blueberries. This probably does not interest you.
True.
You think I'm also
I think everybody's been.
It's true.
All right.
Everybody's been in the Flat Rock picking blueberries at one time. So.
I want to get it.
Okay, are we ready for our next one? Plattsburgh residents start a Champy watch after the recent sighting. Following an alleged sighting on August 27th, a group of residents rotate shifts at City Beach in hopes to catch videos of Champy surfacing. Do we think this is true or false?
Champy. True or false? What does it look like to you?
I think we're looking false. I think we're looking
lots
false.
of red.
We're seeing a lot of false.
All right. You are correct.
It is
You guessed false.
Good
It
job.
is false.
Yeah.
Anything never. I dropped my piece.
All right, let's go to the next headline. Plattsburgh man spends $600 on a cinema for wild squirrels. A man constructed a mini cinema for squirrels complete with a concession stand, promotion posters, and his iPad functioning as a movie screen.
Who we think? True or false?
I mean, if people know one thing about me, it's I'm not going anywhere without that iPad, so
Looking
Ultimate
true.
iPad kid. Ultimate iPad kid.
I think it's true.
true.
That's what. That's the sentiment.
Agree.
Maybe true. Oh, it's false. But it did happen. It did happen.
It is not from Plattsburgh.
Just in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, let's move. Are we ready for our next one? Pea cycling in the Adirondacks. Compost for Good opened its human urine research demonstration facility in the Adirondacks to explore methods for creating nutrient-rich compost using human urine.
Oh, true or false on the human urine for good compost?
do we
Interesting. What do we think, Wendell?
I don't know.
Would you guys use this soil?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're true.
We're true.
True?
I think it says true.
We're
Yeah.
going green. All right. It is true. That is compost of the future, everybody. Just, you heard it here first. All right, let's go to our next headline. $200 million available for zero-emission school buses. Funding will be distributed through the New York School Bus Incentive Program to support public schools in purchasing electric school buses and charging infrastructures.
What do we
True or
think?
false? What are we thinking, audience?
True. Lot of green.
Okay, Wendell's saying true. What do we think?
True.
True. True with Wendell.
Yep.
Ew.
Okay, well,
That's
there we go.
awesome.
All right.
Next up on it.
Okay. Campus construction sparks outrage. Students launch Bring Back the Grass campaign. A group of students have become fed up with the constant construction on campus and have drafted a petition to break from the eyesore.
Uh-oh.
What do we think?
Oh, campus construction. Take your time, just like they are.
I wonder when do you think Downer is going to be done?
Years.
I don't think I'm going to see it.
Probably. You'll be gone.
We'll be gone.
true.
We'll be gone.
So we're seeing true. Wendell's saying
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
False.
But I'd start that. Would you start
I
that?
would sign it.
We should start that.
It'll be true tomorrow.
Yes.
We're going to make it true.
Yes.
It's not that why? Yeah.
All right. Feline Fine Art, the Cat's Art Show, returns to Plattsburgh. The Cat Art Show takes place in Plattsburgh annually to showcase local artists, celebrate cats, and benefit local groups helping homeless cats.
What do we think?
True or false?
Also,
Lot
if
of
this is
green.
true, who wants to go with me?
Lot of
Be
green.
done. I'm probably free.
Lot of green.
True? I see a lot of true.
Yeah. Lot of green.
True.
It's true.
Feline. All right. Next deadline.
Canadian tourist contracts a brain-eating amoeba from Plattsburgh City Beach. A man visiting from Montreal was seen at well now for nausea and fever, later succumbing to an infection that destroyed his brain tissue.
Rough day to be a tourist at the
Lot of
Plattsburgh
red.
Beach.
Lot of red.
Hopefully.
Lot of red.
Red's better than green, I think, for this one.
Yes. Lot of red.
False. Okay, let's see. It's
And
false.
it's false. We are safe for now.
Hasn't happened yet.
Doesn't have brain-eating amoeba.
Not yet.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for participating in our game. We had a lot of fun. I think everyone did a really good job at guessing which was true and false. So now we're going to open up to our Q&A portion. We would love to hear from the audience about questions or concerns that they have for Mr. Wendell Hughes. Don't be shy.
So anybody have any questions? Yes.
Hi, Cindy. How are you? I'm good. Yourself? Nice to see you.
So I'm very concerned about paid parking in the city of Plattsburgh. I watch the budget, I go to a bunch of council meetings, and recently I went to a council meeting and I pointed out that the taxpayers actually pay $90,000 of their taxes towards paid parking in the city of Plattsburgh. It is not sustainable. And I'm very concerned about that because, as we know, paid parking is actually hurting the downtown businesses. So I want to know your opinion about what is the future of paid parking in Plattsburgh if the citizens of Plattsburgh have to keep paying on their taxes to sustain paid parking in the city.
If it's costing us money, we need to get rid of it. Period. I mean, there's no reason to have listen, downtown, like you said, downtown's been hit through COVID. We've had construction. We've had so many issues down there. The worst thing we could have done, in my opinion, is implement the paid parking when we did. And I just, there's one thing day one, when I win, I will look at that. And if we are losing money, we'll get rid of those kiosks. Maybe we can put them down in the other farmers market and open the one up in downtown back up too.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that answer. Do we have another question from the audience?
Yep.
Any plans of adding more bike lanes to the city of Plattsburgh to help people get around?
Are you aware of some of the plans they have right now with the Brinkerhoff and at Court Street? I want to see how these finish up, and let's see what we need when we're done. And we got to have community involvement. I mean, these things shouldn't be done behind closed doors. We got to involve the community as a whole. If the community wants something, that's our job to get it, right? I mean, that's the way I will govern, is we have to listen, getting out and walking and listening to everybody right now. I'm pretty powerful with knowledge about what people want. And that's what I should be. And I can't walk just in November. I have to walk periodically when I'm not running for election. Just get out and talk to folks, because that's where you get your ideas, and that's what we govern. And if you don't give me the ideas, it's hard for me to govern.
We have time for probably two more. Do we have anyone else who wants to ask any questions?
Can't see it. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see you.
So the crime, this goes back to the
Right.
crime field,
Right.
and the crime development. They have said in the past that they will not build unless they have a IDA tax break.
Right.
So do you support high-end housing with tax breaks to create these
I'm not a big fan.
real estate ventures that are for high-end housing?
There's a lot of programs in the state right now for to enhance growth in housing. There's so many different programs, and I don't like the tax breaks for housing. I think there's other breaks that we can come in. If somebody comes in with a lot of jobs, and each one should be looked at differently. I work very well with Molly Ryan and her crew, and a lot of it is governed by the state. I don't know. We can push things certain ways, but I agree we don't need to be. Listen, nobody gives me a break last year. My assessment came in, I had to pay what it said. And I would love to have somebody give me a break too, but I don't get it. So as long as we're even across the board, I think that's the most fair way we can do taxing, right?
One last question, if anybody has one. Go ahead.
You mentioned lots of kind of, so what's your number one priority? So it's literally within, like, idea in the first 30 days, what would you you got elected, what was the first thing you'd want to do when you started the job?
I would love to finish, find the right police chief. I think it's very imperative to our city to have that right person leading us. Public safety is in so many aspects of our, just if we want people to stay in our area. We want safe streets. We want people to feel comfortable, whether it's speeding or drug deals. We just want to have, and we've had a couple murders too. I mean, I want people to feel safe in our city, period. And I think the police chief, and especially if we do it, it's got to involve the community. We have to have somebody that's community oriented. And with today's technology, mental health, and it has to be involved. And that's, to me, I would love to be able to pick the right person for that, because I think that's huge. I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, our infrastructure is getting aged. Well, we have a lot of issues infrastructure-wise, but I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure grants out there too, and I don't know why we haven't got some of those in our city. And I plan on getting a tent and camping on our federal representatives' porch and find out why does Plattsburgh not getting that money? So those are some of the, for me, I mean, there's so many big issues, but I think getting that right chief of police is imperative. And I think that spawns other areas that are going to, I mean, if they feel safe, that's a huge thing. They may want to stay back, and, you know, that's a huge deal. So.
Thank you
Mr.
so
Seaton?
much.
We got time for one more.
Yeah, hi, Wendell. Being an old guy in town here, you know, the Crate brothers left us
I know.
a really nice thing that, you know, I guess something for the kids. And they
Right.
took the money and they built the Crate Civic
Mhm.
Center. Do you have anything specific that, since that's been knocked down and gone, it seems a shame that their legacy is done, it's over with. To me, it would seem some sort of a plan to maybe right that wrong and create a proper legacy for the Crate brothers. And certainly the children down at, you know, the project in the South End, where originally was supposed to be for the kids.
Right.
I know there's a big push to redo all the parks, but for me, it seems something more substantial needs to be done to preserve the legacy of the Crate brothers. So, do you have any ideas on that?
I agree, and we tore down a perfectly good building that we can't afford to replace. I mean, I was out there, I went to the different tours, and I was working, we had some money with the county, we could have patched that together and at least got it where maybe we could have got a grant like Saranac Lake to redo it, but that's gone. So we have to move forward. Clinton Community is moving off the hill, unfortunately. There's a beautiful rec facility up there that may be a short-term fix. I don't know if you've seen the DRI project in the town of Plattsburgh. They're looking, part of their DRI project was to build a indoor stadium off Tom Miller Road. So there are things in the works, but maybe we can utilize that Clinton Community Rec facility for the short term while we figure out where we can get funding and make this right. I mean, I would never have torn that building down. So, I mean, that's just me personally, sir.
Awesome. Thank you. Can everyone give a big round of applause for Wendell? What's going on?
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I really enjoyed this, and I wish we could do this more often in other venues. If somebody's got an idea where we can meet and do more questions, I'd love to do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Wendell. Our next guest is Don Kasperzak. Mr. Kasperzak worked for 10 years for Bouye Banking Company. He then purchased L&M Liquor and Wine Store while also building and owning a golf driving range. During that time, Mr. Kasperzak ran for political office in Plattsburgh area as alderman, known as councilors. He then was appointed by Governor Pataki as regional director for New York State Parks and Saratoga Capital District. He was also appointed by Governor Pataki to be the executive director of the Samuel D. Champlain Quadricentennial. Don Kasperzak served as mayor of Plattsburgh for 3 terms from 2006 to 2014. Please join us in welcoming Don.
Michael.
And then hold it close to your face.
This close?
Perfect.
People know me as not usually needing a microphone, by the way.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for including both of us here. And so far, the questions have been pretty interesting, fair. And the game is going to be interesting at the end, I'm sure.
The games are always so fun. So we're going to start off with kind of the same question. What makes you want to run for mayor again?
Mayor again, yes. First, I'll share a fact that not many people know, but I wasn't born in Plattsburgh. I was born in New York City at Lenox Hill Hospital. But we moved here in 1958. I've been here since then. I've come and gone a little bit, had some employment situations, finished school in California, but we always seem to come back. My father was a general surgeon here for 51 years. I'm sure he's operated on some people out there. But I showed an interest probably in college with politics. And when George Poitras decided to retire, they convinced me to run as alderman at 32 years old. We were successful. We were successful again. And ultimately, I thought that it would be a good career to try to help the city of Plattsburgh the best I could. We all love the city of Plattsburgh here. There's nobody that doesn't. And quite frankly, to serve, to represent people is something that I've always strived to do as best I could. So that's why I ran initially, and I'm running again.
Perfect. Fabulous answer. So we're going to go into what are your top 3 goals if you become mayor?
Well, I guess that question has been asked every time I've run and won, so the goals pretty much stay the same. We have to, first of all, make our city affordable, or at least keep it affordable. In this particular campaign, you listen to so many people that you see, and this is not in any particular order, but the recreation department needs rebuilding. There is no question that the young families that I have met really believe that there's not that much for their young families to do, and we have to recreate something that was abolished a number of years ago. Basically, public safety is probably, if you want to rate them, maybe number 1 in a way. Without safety, without emergency services, you have no real community. And you have to commit funding for that, which is always a challenge. And ultimately, if we don't have safe streets and emergency services, we will not have people stay in our community. So those are probably the 3.
Sharing.
Those are some awesome goals. What do you think are the most important skills for being mayor, and what are ways you exhibit these skills or have exhibited them in the past as mayor?
Well, I'm not sure if I've always exhibited the best, but basically, as a mayor, or even as an elected official, you should always know your constituents. You should always listen to their concerns. No matter how sometimes ridiculous they may sound, you make them feel that you are listening, which I've done very well over the years. You have to be a problem solver. You have to gain all your facts from as many sources as you can. And ultimately, as a mayor, you make the final decision, and you have to have the strength and conviction to continue to do that and accept the good and the bad with it. But you always must gather the facts first and then make your decision. And I've been proven to do that. Some people disagree with some other decisions, but I can always tell you that I have done my best to make sure I have all the information before I would ever make a decision.
Perfect. Thank you. So what challenges do you anticipate you will face if you become mayor?
Well, Wendell touched on a major important one in our police department. We do need a chief. We need a solid chief with great skills, strong leadership, and probably someone that may not be from around the area, and we will not really bring somebody in internally at this point. I'm not sure of that. I'm not the mayor. I think the application process has to probably get the best, most qualified person that you can bring to our city, and that person will lead us. What else did you ask me?
What challenges you anticipate you will face as mayor?
Well, as a previous former mayor, the challenges differ every single day that you go to work. You have water main breaks. You have nor'easters. We had a 100-year flood that closed McDonald's down in the North End for 30 days. McDonald's doesn't close anywhere for 30 days. That's never happened, I don't think. And ultimately, you have to have your priorities the day that, well, listen, I'll tell you a quick story. So I've always told the department heads that I met with them, which I do regularly, call me, and my wife's out there. My wife knows this. Call me no matter what time it is if there is something that really is not good. And of course, you know, you have to measure what really are tragic things and not. So I'm there 3 weeks after my first election, and Bill Tracy from the Municipal Lighting Department calls me at 2 o'clock in the morning. And he says, Mayor, I hate to bother you. I said, Bill, I've told you to call me. What happened? Somebody hit a pole and the power went out. And I said, well, obviously you're calling your crews in and you're going to handle it. Yes, sir, I'm on the scene. I said, I don't have to go there. I don't believe I'm not that important. He says, well, trying to be nice, he says, well, you're important, but you don't have to show up, so that's fine. A minute later, my phone rings, and it's the police chief. The person who hit the pole died. So 3 weeks in, you're getting calls at 2 in the morning, and I did go to the scene. You don't know what happens when you're mayor. Every single hour of every day, there is something that happens in the city. You know, it's funny. I used to hear complaints from people that the power goes out, and I called Bill Tracy up several times, you know, not very happy because, you know, everybody blames the mayor. I don't care if you're in a grocery store. Everybody blames the mayor for something. You have no idea how many death watches that I've dealt with over squirrels that have blown up transmission lines and transmission, not only the transmission lines, but the stations itself. And it sounds kind of sad, but I never realized a squirrel is going to, you know, shut down half the power in Plattsburgh, New York at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So those things you do deal with, and it's really not anything that you can plan. Of course, every day you get up and you meet with the appropriate people. But ultimately, it changes. I mean, I would not want to be president of the United States. I wouldn't want to be governor of New York. You know, being the mayor of Plattsburgh is a challenge enough. So you have to really prepare for the unknown, and you have partners that help you and department heads that help you, but ultimately the mayor has to make the final decisions on a lot of these things. And, you know, that's a quality that I think I've had over the years that hopefully will have been helpful.
Those are some great points. Thank you so much. I know you've touched on it a little bit, but is there anything else you'd like to share about your political background and experience that will make you qualified to be mayor?
Well, it depends who you talk to. Some people think that if you've been mayor or if you've been on the council, that sometimes that doesn't really give you the right experience to run again. I think personally, the more experience you have at those levels, it makes you a better mayor. And I think that gives anybody who has that experience, I won't say the right to become mayor, but it certainly helps you make those difficult decisions. Having no experience at any level, at any of these positions, is not really beneficial to your community. So if you can hire somebody, for example, as the police chief with the most experience, you want that person. If you want a mayor with the most experience, you vote for that mayor. I believe that I have a tremendous amount of experience to lead Plattsburgh in the future if I'm given the opportunity.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So to transition a little bit to talk more about Plattsburgh, what are your plans to make Plattsburgh more sustainable?
Well, I was thinking of that question when Dr. Kurt kind of threw that out at me, and I was thinking sustainable as an affordability, or sustainable because of your environmental concerns. I I'm not going to sit right up here and tell you that I know everything about our environment. I worked for New York State Parks for 5 years. I have a real, well, I can say that I love New York State Parks. I love parks in general. I know the issues associated with our watersheds, our beach quality, all sorts of things that you folks study and really want answers for. I know you'd love to have somebody up here, whether it was Wendell or myself, and say, we want all of our downtown completely walkable, and other than that, we want electric cars and everything else running the country. I'm not going to, I will never lie to anybody, and I'm never going to tell you that I believe that's going to happen. And if you think that I'm a bad person by saying that, I'm not saying I don't believe in electric vehicles. I'm not saying I want a carbon footprint that's much less than it has been, not only in our country and our city, but also the world. Absolutely. I'm not qualified to say I can fix all of that for you. So I'm telling you the truth. I will work with you're on a climate task force, Dr. Kurt? Yeah, that's right. I know that, by the way, and I read all your notes. I know what you want to happen. It's not unreasonable. I'm not sure it's all attainable, but that's because you're a more optimistic person than I am, okay? But the fact is that I will work closely if I'm reelected with your group. There's a smart community designation, I believe, that's out there that we should consider. And those are some of the things that I would look at, but I would be more of a person who's going to listen, because I would probably need to be educated somewhat too. I do not know everything. I will never claim to know everything, but I will listen to everybody. That's one of the strengths I have.
So much. What do you see as the value of SUNY Plattsburgh being located here, and how can we keep SUNY Plattsburgh students here in post-grad?
Well, of course we want you all here. And if anybody who's running for office says that that's not the case, they're just not telling you the truth. Now, the other side of that is they're also going to tell you that we love the millions of dollars that Plattsburgh State gives us or works with us or brings to our community. Absolutely. That's imperative for, I think personally, in a community of any size, to have any university there is a true backbone for success. And the question is, how do we keep you folks here when you decide that it's time to graduate? I think the most important thing is that you have to have, as students, a wonderful time here. And I'm not talking just socially. I'm talking interacting with the community. I'm talking with, when you're in the center city, if you have student housing off campus, we all respect one another. We all work together. Believe me, I've walked many times in the center city, and I've talked to many of the homeowners, and some of them love you, some of them don't. Some of them I try to convince that you're great folks. And frankly, I think we've come a long way with those relationships. I also will be honest and say that having 2,000 less students here makes less noise in the center city. So when I knocked on the doors, they did say that it's been much better. But the bottom line in your question is, you have to have a real enjoyable time while you're here. And if that happens, hopefully you will come back. There's many business people that have gone to Plattsburgh State that have been very successful in the city of Plattsburgh. They didn't leave. They stayed here. And that would be my goal as a mayor or even as a resident. We want you to stay here, open up businesses, be part of our community, and bring new ideas and younger ideas to us, like guys like me. And we can put you on committees, we can put you on boards. We need your thoughts and we need your input, because people like me are not going to be here. A lot of people don't want me here half the time, but that's fine. We just need you to backfill our community, and we want you to succeed in business if that's what you choose. So please, you are important. I personally have been on the College Foundation for 7 years, raising scholarship funds for you all those years, and it's important that we keep you here. Absolutely. We want you here. Yes.
Perfect. That goes a little bit into our next question. What are some of the ways that Plattsburgh community can build relationships within the college while also dealing with the consequences of a big student
Population. That's fine. Well, first of all, having a medium or large student population has so many positive benefits to our community. And quite frankly, when I was mayor, I was on several committees. I was very active in going to sororities and fraternities and even off-campus students and walking around and spending time with them, listening to their concerns. One concern, this is totally off tangent, but the housing by some out-of-state landlords is unbelievably awful for our students. And one thing the city needs to do is to put pressure on those folks and make sure, and there are vehicles to do this, whether it's building inspecting fines or whatever, to make sure that those accommodations are fair and up to date. So, I mean, that's just one thing. What we want and what we can do sometimes becomes a little different. But what we really would like is for all of you who have an enjoyable time here across the board, and basically we can do some things to help you with that. I know that in the past we've been these committees are important. I've been on many of them, and I've been very active in approaching college students, and I think everybody wants to be here and do a good job, be respectful. I believe the majority of the students do. And I can work with people like that, and that's what's great for our community. So I really look forward to that if I get a chance again.
Thank you so much. Our last question is just, are there any issues or topics that you would like to talk about?
Any particular topic? There's been a lot said about me taking a break from being in politics. And I'm going to say that going door to door, personally talking and listening to people is always the same. Different people, some new families come in. It's been great to rekindle old relationships and friendships. Listening to the concerns from everybody in every part of the city. Some of them are much different, but for the most part, the basic theme is they want our community to be the best it can be. And they want somebody there that's going to watch every day what the city does and watch, the finances. And I believe that's one of my strengths. So people just want Plattsburgh to be the best it can be. And I don't think that's anything that any public servant should disregard. That should be, it actually should be part of our oath if you want to know the truth. And I firmly believe that I've got a good grasp of what we need to do. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we won't be able to do that I'd like to do, and I'm sure some questions are going to come up about that. But we need to have partners. We need to work with everybody that wants to work with us. I will work with any person who wants to help the city of Plattsburgh. It can be a Democrat, Republican, it can be an independent, conservative, it can be someone from the town, it can be somebody from the county, somebody from the federal government, although I question that sometimes, and then obviously the state, which I question that sometimes. But if these people that we can work with will make our community the best that it can be, I will work with them to ensure we do that. I've always done that.
Thank you so much. Okay, so now we're going to play a game. Our next game is called Sharknastics. This game is played like the popular TV show Shark Tank and scored like professional gymnastics. Each team will have to design the most creative the most creative solution to a problem
Hello? Yep, right on.
from a prompt that we found from Plattsburgh Street Team. These are real local people's concerns for Plattsburgh. How can you solve them? Our judges tonight are Dawn, who will be joined by Late Night for the Planet crew members, Maddie and Rachel.
Where are they?
They're right there. They're coming.
All right.
The judges will distribute points out of 5 to each team that presents. Be creative, funny, unique, and witty. You'll have a minute and a half to discuss your ideas with your team and a minute to pitch your ideas to the judges.
Oh, we're doing this too? We're judging only. Yeah.
It's the same. Matt, do you guys want to sit in our seat?
Yeah, are you guys done?
Yeah.
There you guys are. You guys say, oh, we're not. Sorry.
Am I, So I'm just giving a number here?
Yep, so out of 5, we're gonna present a prompt.
Yes.
Share about you, and then out of 5 you bring it.
Okay.
And be harsh.
So,
All right, so are we ready for our first prompt? So from Plattsburgh Street Team. How the heck? Found this lost guy across the street from Cumberland 12, LOL. This is a shopping cart for anyone that is curious.
I see these everywhere.
They're taking over.
It's crazy. They should not be allowed to do that.
So our proposal is, what multi-million-dollar proposal would you pitch to Target to help herd in the rogue shopping carts?
Yes, very funny, please.
I hope you're funny. Yes. If anybody has followed Plattsburgh Street Team, this has been going on for at least a year. People finding carts all over the city. It is a problem.
All right.
Okay, you guys are going to have 90 seconds.
Oh, what? Oh, I want to say was today was about why he's here before when I was out. That only need to go to
The Sphinx bars?
So, but yeah, I think so. I can't remember about person when I know this is so bully. Oh, but I must have that's not how I got to the run. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about I'm not even look at it as a solid. That's an 18. I thought they just didn't see this. That's what I thought. Still, they were still everybody that didn't see.
Oh shit. So I don't think we're actually keeping still. You'll just break 5 years or
Don't do that. You follow. I don't like it, but I tell you. He been gas, so something. Oh, I'm not thinking. Oh, I think that's very nice.
Okay, you guys have like 15 more seconds.
Yeah, so what was it? We get on doing. Sorry, why would I tell you I do flat? Well, the hell is fun? The you down in her video. 4 days at a day, see what they say this? Very fit. Don't have to. Oh, skip a little bit inside. I paid that for you. How does I look at us out tight? What is he? That's another. You know, for the river. You got a little game distance ends. I would what's the end? Oh, and then you're all you. Speak popular down and will like politics. All that nothing got to it. You have this not idly anything. You'll set up here. I know they built easy and I way with you, but worry and I always done that. Anything I was not even what's anything meant like you. I should go.
Hey, so now we're going to give off our answers. We're going to start right here. You got to explain.
Speak loud, be proud, be positive.
Come on. Becca's the spokesperson. Come on. No.
Route part gas so very bad thing and it was all with it. Well it was
Okay, security bouncer. Judges, what do we rate the security bouncer?
That's a 1.
Okay.
Wendell, this wasn't as difficult. You had the easy. Yeah, it's okay. You remember that now.
Let's hear it, Brock.
First off, we're going to hire a new police chief. Working with the police chief, they're going to train the target's gold population that operates in the parking lot to work with the police to prevent absconding with the seagulls. So the seagulls will work.
Oh, the seagulls.
Orbiting the parking lot.
Love to hear it. What do we think about the seagulls, judges?
That's a 4 for me.
Ooh, 4s across the board. Okay, let's hear it from our next table.
So a little bit of profit behind this plan. Okay.
Well, we do need revenue generating ideas, right?
What do we think? What do we think, judges?
I've got a 3,
Yeah,
2,
That's a 3.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear from our next table.
Oh my. This is creative. Oh, sorry.
All right, so let's hear from our next group with our board by the bar. Okay, so magnet. What are we thinking about a giant magnet? What do we think, judges?
I feel like that's perfect.
5. Oh, 5
3,
out of 5.
sorry,
3.
but I...
Okay, mixed bag here, mixed bag. All right, our next table here is in the back corner. So we have a tattletaling. Okay, so we're encouraging tattletaling for this solution.
I'm going half, 2.5. Sorry, I'm giving you...
All right, I think we've got one more group that needs to share, so we're going to talk to the boys in the back.
Anyone to the public, whoever brings back 5 cards gets a free case of beer.
What do we think of free beer? 5s across the board for free beer.
5.
There's a 5.
There's my first 5.
Yep, perfect score to the group in the back here. Great thinking. Everyone was very creative.
Very good.
Okay, for our second prompt. Suggestions. Have a mouse who's been to escape an evasive tactics school will not touch a trap. This is one bold dude or dudette haven't been able to lift up the tail to check. Runs right from me while watching TV. Grandpa.
Absolutely ridiculous. These rodents are getting out of control.
Where do they get the nerve?
No idea. Couldn't tell you.
Ninjas disguised as mice. How can we catch them in the most humane way possible, of course?
You know, when I was last mayor, these questions weren't even invented. This is really something new.
You guys have 90 seconds again.
Yeah.
I mean, they always go. Every single one I've attended has never gone to actual shot. Okay, you guys have 15 more seconds. Get those great ideas in. They're not going to know that. Okay, get your final thoughts down. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're gonna start with table 1 again.
So we were saying we're going to make a life-size replica of the children's board game Mousetrap.
I love that.
And we're going to catch them.
Life-size mouse trap.
What do we think
Judges,
about
what
that?
are we rating that? Oh, we got some pretty good high numbers.
3.5, 3, and 4.
All right. Definitely redemption from our last round.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will use that police chief to train a task force of skunks. Who will also be equally talented as ninjas. They can work for our side to help.
The skunks made a comeback. Okay. I like that too. So what do we think about the skunks?
Training skunks.
The skunks are gonna become ninjas and get the squirrels. Or the mice.
That's pretty good. That's like alright.
So we got a 3.7 and 4.
Can I just say something about skunks? You don't understand what mayors get blamed for. I got a call one afternoon from somebody I know very well, and I won't tell you where they live, and they were having a birthday party in her backyard for their 4-year-old and friends. And for some reason, skunks came out from under the shed and started spraying people. And the first call that she made, and she's a friend of mine, was to me to blame me because our animal control officer didn't get the skunks, which she never complained about, but they were under the shed and they ruined the birthday party. So you have no idea when you mention skunks the memories that I have.
Skunks are really silly. Let's hear from table 3. I love that.
Hey, that's good.
It's a really good drawing. Let's
Police disguised as cheese.
Police disguised as cheese. What do we think of that?
Are they like running around?
Maybe they're on
I
the-
like that just the way it is. That's fine. I think that's pretty ingenious.
We got 2 4s and a 2. Okay, our table over here. What do we have?
Bribe them with Canadian dollars. Which we all know that they love.
Okay.
Poutine. All right,
What do
that's
we think
pretty.
of
You can't
our
argue with
Canadian
that.
mice? What do we think of Canadian mice?
Oh, boy.
We don't like the Canadian.
Don't
Rachel
be
does not
upset.
like the
Don't be
Canadians.
upset with me, but I've
we
gotta
have that
give you
on
a
the record.
2.
Okay. Boys in the back. Well, let's hear it.
Say we get 100 turtles or however many we need. We'll train 4 turtles so we get an army of ninja turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I know. Sorry, boys. 3's what it could give you.
3, 3.5, and 5. Okay, and on to our last prompt.
So for our third and final prompt from Plattsburgh Street Team, watch out for this big hole. You better have a 2x4 strapped to your ass. In a low-profile car, you might fall in. Thanks a lot, Plattsburgh, for the great work on the streets.
I don't know if I'm just a bad driver, but I'm always hitting the potholes everywhere.
You really gotta watch where you're going when you're driving in Plattsburgh. So, if Plattsburgh is not paving the roads well, what are some other ways around these pothole issues? Your time starts now.
You have 90 seconds.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful. This is going to be beautiful.
You gotta write these ideas down.
I don't think I haven't got them up here.
What?
everybody.
Okay, you guys have 15 more seconds. And for this one, you're going to send a representative up. So your representative has to come up here. Start sending those representatives up. Ten more seconds. Send those representatives up. Okay. Is everybody's representatives up here? Okay, we're gonna start with Becca.
I said drive on the sidewalk and then hot girls hit curbs.
What do we?
Hot girls hit curbs. Well, can't argue with that logic, so.
I'm really hot. 3.5.
2. Oh.
Hot girls hit curbs. I love that. Okay, now we got Brockway.
So after we hire a new police chief for the city of Plattsburgh, we will have that police chief enlist a task force of beavers to create wetlands in the Plattsburgh area, and then we can turn Plattsburgh into like a mini Venice so that people can paddle the works, 0 emissions, and there's a great drawing up here as well, the plan.
Awesome. What do you think of mini Venice? 5.2. I didn't even know that was allowed.
Some pretty good scores. Wow.
Do you want to apply for the police chief's job?
We're going to bring the trolley back. We're going to make Broad Street great again. And we're going to bridge the gap. Hashtag bridge the gap.
What do we think of bringing the trolley back? 4.1, 4 and 4. We've got Dr. Gervich.
Have local artists create mini murals in the potholes, and then we'd have even more beautiful art around town.
Oh, Plattsburgh art, amazing. What do we think about that, judges?
That's a beautiful idea from my advisor right there.
You got a
Love
4, 3.2, 4.5. Cat art.
Cat art.
Would that be suggested? I think so.
Just outlaw driving at this point because we'll never get rid of the potholes. Cheaper, easier for everyone.
Perfect. Outlaw driving.
No more driving on the
Because there's
streets.
not going to get rid of the potholes. What do we think of that? Bike lanes, no driving, just biking.
Oh man, judges say 1, 2. It's not looking hopeful on this side.
He's wondering if he can put a 0.
Negative points are not allowed, no.
3, oh! Okay, last but not least, we've got Deacon.
I say we bypass the electric vehicles, the electric cars, and we go straight to electric monster trucks. That way we don't have to pay for the potholes. And we have monster trucks.
Scooters. Electric scooters. Okay, what do we think about monster trucks? 4.7, 1.2, 3.5.
It's a mixed bag.
I would love to go on a monster truck. Well, okay, can we give a warm round of applause for Rachel and Maddie and Dawn for judging?
Thank you so much for judging. I know that was hard. We are now going to open it up to our audience for our Q&A portion. And so if you have any concerns or questions to ask Dawn, now is the time to do so.
Cindy, come on up.
So, let's talk about the pilot program. I read your comments recently in the newspaper. So the pilot program would exempt a lot of the taxes that would be absorbed by the local taxpayers. So for people that don't know about this, the pilot program is when a business can get an exemption from paying their school and property taxes. So the original pilot program for the Prime project would exempt them for like 17 years.
I think that's right.
Millions of dollars.
Mhm.
Look up on my website or Facebook page about the true part of that. And so the city school system superintendent was like, hey, wait, it costs $25,000 a student to put our kids through a year, $25,000 a year to put our kids through our school system. And this company, who is a downstate regional developer, would not pay 1 cent for multiple years to put those kids through our schools. In addition, the taxpayers in our region would be basically subsidizing the profits for the Prime organization. So your recent comments were, hey, I think we should go back to see if Prime wants to develop. So let's talk about that for a minute.
What would you like to ask me?
Well, you've already said that you're pro-Prime, and a lot of us in the community that doesn't want to go.
I'm pro-development.
I am pro-development too.
And you have to understand, which I know you are, because I know you're a very intelligent person, okay? I know your background. Plattsburgh, New York, any place in, I'm not going to say the United States, okay? Let's just use New York State. If you believe, not what you in your heart believe, but if you really truly think that bringing any serious development into any of our cities in New York State is only going to be funded fully, Cindy, I like you, but that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It just will not happen.
Don, let me raise my hand.
Yes.
I brought 2 IDA developments into this community
Mhm.
for Bombardier Corporation that employed hundreds of people in this community.
Yes.
And so the Prime development will employ 2 more people after, that's in the IDA development, in the actual thing, after the construction. And I'm sorry to say, but we as taxpayers in this community should never subsidize business. We are not in the position. My senior citizens in Ward 2, where we're poor as hell, cannot subsidize business. And that is the way it would work for 17 years. And anybody on this thing can go to my Facebook page and look at
And I want them to do that. I do.
I do want everybody here to understand how the impact on their personal taxes will be impacted if the development develop at that level.
If I am reelected mayor, I did not say the specific Prime project that was originally given or approached and given, obviously, through state funding, IDA funding. That is not going to happen. No, wait a minute, though. Some development is going to happen, in my opinion, on Durkee Street. I know nothing. I mean, I don't have any inside information, but I am telling you, and if it has to have some state or federal funding at some level, I am not totally against that. Not 20 years of free taxes. I've never said that, ever. So whoever becomes mayor is going to have that option, I think, if Prime wants to come back and renegotiate with us the size of the project and some of the other things, which obviously I don't know at this point. But I don't believe in giving 15 or 20, years of free taxes to anybody. I don't think Wendell Hughes does either. So what will happen, I don't know yet. But I know your position, and I'm not disputing that those I hate free money. Money is not free. It affects somebody. Grants, when you get a grant, everybody, that's not free money. Everybody loves to say, oh, I'm going to get grant funding to do, Broad Street for $399,000. That's nonsense. It's not free money, folks. We're all paying that in Ward 2, in every ward. So let's be clear that not everything is free, okay? That's all I'm saying. And I'm willing to listen to a new prime project or anybody who brings a project here. I'm willing to do that. And I always will.
Thank you so much. That's such a great question. We have time for one more quick question.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Reagan. I just want to say I'm not ashamed of the fact that I don't drive, and I don't want to subsidize free parking for people. My money is as good as anybody else's. My money is actually coming from California, by the way, and I'm just spending it all here. Not in Detroit, not in oil wells in Texas. It's all right here.
Thank you.
So what I'm saying is, and I'm curious to get your response to this. I'm sorry, I do have a question.
No, sure.
Is that in terms of sustainability, this is a cross-part thing I'm thinking of. Because this is not just, save the tree sustainability and have a sustainable plan, blah, blah, but also sustainability in finance. How do you see Plattsburgh reducing its obligations to pay for the salting of roads? The wider we make roads, the more we have to salt, the more money that we have to spend on roads. That does not go in other places. And if anybody wants to look it up, fourth power law, actual the fourth power times speed is what road damage is. So when we have lanes, what are we doing, or what do you plan to do to reduce Plattsburgh's tab on road maintenance and salting? Winter is right around the corner.
Well, I can honestly tell you that this is a problem that has been with us for years. And this is a New York State problem because I worked for New York State Parks as well. I don't want to insult anybody in here, but I'm just going to say it the way it is. If we have snowstorms and we want to make sure that things are safe going to school, safe driving to the hospital, safe driving everywhere, there has to be, now people can get upset with me, that's fine. You have to have a mixture of sand and salt to some degree. And if all of you think that sand's going to handle it, or berry juice or plum juice, which I've done research on, and it's cost 3 times as much and leaves an awful discolored roadway, it's not going to work just to get rid of or reduce salt to a point that it doesn't protect our people and our community with their transportation every day. You matter to me. I'm not saying you don't matter. Well, sure they do. Well, I know that, but I'm sorry to tell you that. I don't give everybody everything they want to hear. You want me to reduce the salt in the roadway situation. This is what you want, personally. And then, well, you just said it was. You said it was. No, I'm not asking for a vote. I'm just telling you the real realities of winter driving in Plattsburgh, New York, and safety is paramount, period. Period. It doesn't matter if it's you, me, my grandson. Safety is paramount for the majority of the people that have to take people everywhere. I'm not asking for your vote, and you probably won't vote for me now, but that's my feeling. And if I was the mayor, safety is paramount. Period.
But certain people's safe. So if I'm in the minority, my safety doesn't matter.
Sure it does. Your safety matters to everybody, but I'm going to tell you this. Am I supposed to do something for the minority and hurt the majority? Let me tell you something, and I'm sincere. Let me just say this sincerely. I've always run with this one premise. As mayor, I will do my best for our community, but ultimately, I have to do what's in the best interest of the majority of residents, business owners, and taxpayers. Okay. And I'm not saying you're a minority. I'm just saying that's what I have to do.
Thank you so much for
yes, you do.
The question. That's all the time we have for today. I'm so sorry. But can everybody give Dawn a big round of applause?
Thank you for listening. Sorry, I bored all of you.
No. Thank you so much. We've had so much time. That's all we have time for tonight. But we hope you enjoyed our conversation surrounding the upcoming Plattsburgh mayor election. Before you go, be sure to scan the QR codes on the table tents and fill out the surveys. We appreciate your answers. Completing the surveys will help us get more funding for our guests and equipment, as well as learn about the impact of our work.
And we wanted to give one last round of applause for our amazing guests and musicians for the night. Thank you all for coming out, and we hope you have a great, great night.
Don't forget to vote!
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all so much for coming. I just want to give a couple of last plugs. First of all, what Wendell and Don did tonight is very courageous. Not all of us run for office. Not all of us stand up to criticism. Not all of us put ourselves out there with our ideas. So thank you both for being here, for running. Please vote, everyone. Huge round of applause to McKenna and Sasha. Also courageous. There is a QR code on the table tent. If you flip it, it's the one that has the Late Night for the Planet logo. That's a QR code that helps us get some feedback for how we're doing, and it helps us get more funding. We do love grant funding, which we get from the Lake Champlain Basin Program, an organization that funds many projects in the Lake Champlain Basin Program. And this program is about the communication of science and the building of community. So please, even if you don't have time to do this survey now, it's 5 minutes, but if you don't have time to do it now, just hit that QR code and do it when you get home. You can do it tomorrow, but make sure that you have it, and please let us know how we're doing. Thank you all so much for coming. Thanks, Wendell and Don. Thanks to the Late Night for the Planet crew. Thank you. Good night.